Dark Eco injection cycle complete. Bio readings nominal and unchanged.
I fear the Dark Warrior program has failed.
You should at least be dead with all the dark eco I pumped into you.
I'm a huge fan of Naughty Dog, thanks to Crash Bandicoot, Uncharted and Jak and Daxter, which shaped my childhood. So, when I got my PSP, it was a no-brainer to play The Lost Frontier. By the way, did you know the game was also ported to the PS2? Thought I would mention that. Anyways, while playing it, something fell off. Even as a 10-year-old, I noticed that something was missing. The game's difference from others lies in being developed by High Impact Games, also known for Secret Agent Clank and Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. A bold move from Naughty Dog for sure, like handing over your daughter to another man. But the reason behind this decision are unclear. Some speculate time and money constraints led Sony to release a PSP game to boost console sales. Meanwhile, Naughty Dog was busy with Uncharted and PS3 projects, so they might have sought High Impact's game expertise in handheld platforms. To quote a Reddit user,
"The team developed cutscenes and a game in 3 months, but couldn't continue alongside Uncharted, leading to the project abandonment and eventually handing it off to High Impact Games."
But was it all that bad? Kinda. Let's start with the story. In Jak and Daxter The Last Frontier, Jak, Daxter and Kira face an eco-storm attacked by sky pirates on their ship the Hellcat. Due to eco instability, Jak can't transform into Dark Jak and suffers great pain. They crash on Brink Island, finding a green eco crystal, converting Dark Eco into fuel. The sky pirates attack Europa, ruled by Duke Skyheed, who got advanced technology. Jak gets the Eco Seeker, leading to hidden eco sources. They rescue Kira, Jak's love, from sky pirates and retrieve stolen eco tech. Later on, Daxter transforms into Dark Daxter from Dark Eco exposure. The plot reveals a precursor facility and Dark Eco experiment. Finally, they stop Duke Skyheed from stealing the Eco core power and defeat him in an epic battle. The Eco crisis is now resolved, Jak and Kira share a romantic moment, and the trio embarks on a new adventure. It was interesting to see the game introduce new locations, characters and lore, expanding the Jak and Daxter universe beyond previous games. It was also nice to see Kira playing a more active role in The Lost Frontier. Daxter's transformation also added depth to his character and allowed for some interesting levels. However, this divergence from the original series' core gameplay and atmosphere disappointed fans who expected a more faithful continuation. Some players felt that the charm and witty banter between Jak and Daxter were less prominent, affecting the overall nostalgic feel of the game. The shift in gameplay and atmosphere led to mixed opinions among fans, with some enjoying the changes and others longing for a return to the classic Jak and Daxter experience. The Lost Frontier suffers from inconsistent storytelling and pacing. Some plot elements in the game feel rushed, leaving players with questions and a sense of disjoint narrative. Important story points lack proper development and explanation, making it difficult for players to fully immerse themselves in the game's world and plot. The game lacks exploration of the Eco Seeker device, which is rumored to lead to a major eco source. Kira studies it, but once Jak receives it, its origins, connection to the eco imbalance, and importance in the narrative are overlooked. This missed opportunity leaves players with little information about its capabilities and potential consequences. By focusing on its development and implications, the game could have created a more engaging narrative, emphasizing the urgency of the eco crisis and the quest to restore eco harmony. The significant story element is barely explored. Its origins, connections to the eco crisis, and potential implications are left unexplored. The limited information about Dark Daxter and its impact on normal Daxter is also lacking. Both are essential elements in the game, and both are almost ignored. Let's talk about the villain next. Duke Skyheed falls short as the villain in Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier due to underdeveloped motivations, limited backstory, lack of emotional impact, and limited screen time / interaction with the protagonist. Compared to previous well-crafted antagonists in the series, he lacks compelling qualities and meaningful interactions with the player. A great villain should challenge players' morality and perceptions, adding depth to the narrative and emotional stakes. Duke's one-dimensional portrayal weakens the player's connection and immersion into the game's conflict. In conclusion, The Last Frontier highlights the importance of multi-dimensional, emotionally impactful antagonists like Golan Maya from the Precursor Legacy and Baron Praxis from Jak 2. Let's put the story aside and take a look at the gameplay. The flying aspect in the game offered significant elements to the gameplay. It provided players with a sense of freedom and exploration as they soared through the vast landscape. Aerial combat introduced thrilling action sequences and unique challenges, breaking away from the traditional platforming elements. However, some players found the flying aspect repetitive, with limited mission variety and similar minigames. Additionally, the controls were challenging for some, leading to frustration and a diminished sense of control. Flying aspect deviated from the classic Jak and Daxter series, possibly alienating fans seeking a more traditional experience. Despite these issues, the flying feature brought excitement and new experiences to the game, enhancing the overall immersive journey. In Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier, you not only had the freedom to select your airship and upgrades, but you could also purchase enhancements for Jak himself to boost his abilities and combat skills. These upgrades encompassed eco powers, weapon enhancements, as well as health upgrades. The exciting part was that you could personalize your gaming experience by choosing the layout and prioritizing which powers to upgrade first. This added a new dimension to the gameplay, allowing you to tailor your playstyle to your preferences. While the concept of upgrades existed in previous Jak games, The Lost Frontier placed a greater emphasis on this feature. In The Last Frontier, the game took a different approach to Jak's abilities compared to previous installments, as the game introduced unique powers associated with different eco-types. The red eco amplifier enabled Jak to release a large sphere of red eco energy that detonated when shot, creating a damaging shockwave. Green eco powers allowed him to form green crystal structures for defense and climbing, and he could also encase himself in an eco shield, resembling a hamster ball. Blue eco powers granted Jak the ability to slow down time and teleport using precursor statues, while the yellow power provided a jump boost. Although these eco powers enhanced Jak's basic attacks, they were primarily designed for platforming purposes rather than combat. Overall, The Lost Frontier expanded Jak's abilities, offering a diverse set of powers associated with different eco types, providing new and exciting gameplay opportunities throughout the adventure. The game's gun mechanics were a mix of previous Jak games, with the Scattergun, Vulcan Fury, and Blaster simply copied, making it feel like a downgrade compared to Jak 3. The addition of the lobber was a nice thing. Lastly, the system. Since The Last Frontier was initially developed as a PSP game and later ported to the PS2, it faced significant technical limitations. By 2009, the PS3 had been around for almost 3 years, with games like Uncharted showcasing advanced graphics. Comparing the PSP's technology to the PS3's is like comparing a hiccup to a heart attack. It's easy to imagine how The Last Frontier could have looked like with PSP graphics. This decision resulted in missed opportunities for Sony, considering the massive user bases for both PSP and PS3. So, was it doomed to fail? Just like my channel if I don't get subscribers and my landlord will evict me? If you ask me, yes, it was. The Jak and Daxter franchise already established itself in the platformer genre, and fans had expectations of what a Jak and Daxter game should be. Completely deranging from the winning formula was a bold move, and if not executed with precision, it would lead to disaster. Don't get me wrong, changing up things to leave some room for innovation is great and important. Just look at Jak 1. Do you think the franchise would be as popular and successful as it is today if Jak 2 and 3 were copies of the original game?
No.
However, it is also important to stay true to already established standards in the said game. I'm certain that if Naughty Dog would have taken a few more years and developed the game and implemented those changes themselves, instead of giving the project away to a different company and having it rushed out, the game would be considered the unofficial Jak 4. It's like eating your favorite pizza at a different restaurant. The expectations of what a salami pizza should taste like is already burned into your mind, and if the chef uses one different ingredient, it can positively or negatively change your expectations. But in this case, it's like going from a 5-star Italian restaurant to a Craigslist off-brand kitchen nightmares establishment. With all this said, I don't think the game deserves this much hate. It still had its enjoyable moments, and until this day reminds me of fond memories I had when 10-year-old me played my PSP. So, there was my take. What do you think about the game? Do you think the hate is deserved? What would you have done differently if you had the chance to? Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below so we can have a discussion. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would greatly appreciate a like, subscribe, and a comment. Until then,
Remember, the first rule in making a bomb is to always make 2.